wonderful people, thank you for sharing your time with me. If you're new to Just Say No to Narcs, welcome to this channel, and thank you so much for pressing play. Thank you to those of you who continue to return and continue to support. I truly appreciate you. The discussion today is going to be about what happens to the narcissist when he or she is faced with reality. How do they respond, and how will this affect you? Well, usually when an empathic person decides they're leaving the narcissist for good and going no contact, there's a huge dose of reality thrown at the narcissist. The fact that they have lost control of this person, and that, they know that this is pretty much the final straw that's been drawn for the empath. And so that alone is a huge dose of reality that the narcissist can't process well. And so this is why you see them move on to a more toxic person, because they need someone who's going to be there to help uphold that false image, because the empath leaving actually just ripped the narcissist into shreds. And there's a huge injury created there. And so that reality of your actions of standing up and leaving alone just brings the narcissist to his or her knees, and they don't know what to do. And so they have to find someone who's willing, who's just as fake and nasty as they are, to help them survive and move, until they're able to regain their strength. How do they regain their strength? They do it by trying to get you to react in some kind of way. Really, the narcissist tries to still feed off of you, even though you've given them a huge dose of reality, because the toxic person they're with doesn't fuel them. So if they're not getting it from you and you share children with them, they're going to try to get it from your children. They're not getting it from that new toxic person. That person is just there to help keep that false image while the narcissist feeds off of the secondary supplies that are around. And so the narcissist facing reality can cause a narcissist to go into a bit of a rage. I can remember a couple of the ex-sociopath's friends asking what happened between the both of us, because he had a lot of aggression. They said that he was more aggressive than they had ever seen him before. And so they'll become aggressive with friends and family. They're all over the place. They seem hugely discombobulated. And so they're really unsettled. They don't know what to do, and they just really go and grab the quickest person who's willing to do, again, whatever with them as quickly as possible. They need to be assured that they're okay, there's nothing wrong with them, and that it was you. And so they have to find someone who's on board with this, so that the dose of reality doesn't make them hit rock bottom. Now, what happens if they can't find a new toxic person or anyone to lick their wounds for them? Well, then that dose of reality, you'll usually find the narcissist homeless. Even if they have money, they'll be homeless. They won't know what to do, because the empathic person has probably done everything for them to make them feel good, stroking their egos, taking care of them, taking care of their well-being if they're sick, cooking for them, doing specific things for them, paying bills. And now this person doesn't have someone to think for them. The narcissist uses the empath to think for them. And so once the empath awakens and becomes the super empath, they're just done. They're not wasting their energy anymore. And the narcissist can't take this, and they just collapse. This is what happens when they collapse. When they can't access anyone, the super empath has cut them off from the children. If there are children involved, the super empath has cut them off from everything and handed them a huge blow to their ego, because they thought that you were asleep this entire time. They thought they were getting one over on you. They've done it for so long, they just thought that you were just going to do the same old thing that you've done before. but you beat them to the punch. And I don't mean because you discarded them first, which that happens as well, but even when they discard you, because it's all a part of their game to come back to you to keep you in your place, and then you just decide to wisen up and just move on with your life. And that too gives them a huge dose of reality that your game is not working anymore. It's lame, and maybe you need to do something different with yourself. Well, the narcissist is not going to change, so change is off the table. So they just need to go ahead and slither on somewhere else to find a creature more like them to help them in recovery. So the narcissist will attempt to try and hoover to get you back. That also helps with reality. And so when you decide to move on, if you discard them or they discard you and you just decide, okay, I'm just going to move on with my life, and you go in no contact, they will try to hoover you. They'll try to hoover the empath immediately after, just to get you to do anything. My immediate hoover was to ask if he could come over and I could do his taxes one last time. And of course, I was a person of my word, so I said, okay, sure, come on over. And then that light bulb came on, and I said, no, go and shove your taxes where the sun doesn't shine. And that's how it, I ended that whole hoover thing. But it comes immediately after, because they've been handed a dose of reality, and they don't know how to process it. They don't know where to go. They don't know what to do. The hoovers always worked. You've always let them back in. And now you have boundaries. Who told you to get boundaries? Where'd you get those from? When did those come in? So you really blindsided the narcissist, and they have no clue of what to do. And again, you'll find them out. They might even start into drugs. Narcissists are very prone to doing drugs and drinking too much or smoking heavily, just making irresponsible and reckless decisions, even more than they were with you. They will go out and run up bills. They will become even more vindictive. The smear campaign will be amped up. They're desperately trying to get you to respond, to come back to them. And when it doesn't work, they collapse, or they find a toxic person to help them find their false image again and maintain the false self. So I hope this response was helpful to you all. Please let me know what you think in the comments below, and thank you again for sharing your time. Don't forget to take care of yourself and take care of the people who love you. Goodbye.